I think, how art functions is one of the most prevalent questions I've ever hear. Because when you see, work like this versus more conventional representations of art, painting, sculpting with metal, whatever, that it looks like it does do something. It makes a noise, it lights up, it has wires, it must do something. Whereas usually other art is just, representative. Even if it's abstract art, it's still representative of the essence of being abstract. And I think, one of my favorite quotes about my art is that it's an abstract representation of something, usually an ideology that's embedded in historical research. So it has this scientific vibe. So I pull a lot of my inspiration from science, and I think just that alone puts it in the canon of what is contemporary, because if you look at anything being created in the real, what is the highest form of art today in terms of art as creation? It's going to be scientific. It's going to be some type of technology. It's going to be something that is going to be used for something else. The betterment of mankind is always the catchphrase. Anytime anybody's pitching something new in science, rarely do you see this will help us destroy humanity, even though the high talk of today would be AI and the fear of it, becoming Skynet like in Terminator and destroying humanity, even though it's supposed to better humanity. And I think that's an interesting conversation where I haven't made work in relation to that yet. But particularly this piece, the conversation I like to talk about is energy. And what is energy? What does it do? What can it do? Particularly, especially in relation to our understanding of it. I think our understanding of what energy is extremely limiting. You think of energy as gas and natural gas and solar energy, and but people don't think about your body as being an energy device, even though it is. It transmits as well as conducts, but also uses. But if you study high science, it is you're going to come across that matter cannot be created or destroyed, only redistributed. And that is what I tend to focus mostly on, is any conversation talking about infinity, that there is no limit to anything, only perspective points and ways to look or become or be or not be, and I feel like I'm rambling now, which is how my art usually goes. The idea of rambling, the idea of rolling forward, the idea of stream of consciousness. I like to think, if I were to say, what does it do? It's supposed to activate a stream of consciousness within people. When people's gears start turning, they're going to come in here and they're going to automatically start thinking of things it does. And that, engaging people's curiosity to be not what does it do, but what can it do? What could it do? What does it maybe do? And then people will start to impose their own ideas onto it, which is another reason why I use light as a huge component, because I believe light to be one of the greatest mysteries. What actually is it?